I found a note on the fridge. Words all messed up like a scrambled game. Left her lipstick on my mirror, said goodbye. She's my girl, but she's gone away. Anger crawling up my skin like fire. Radio blaring out heartbreak's rude tunes. Can't shake her ghost haunting my bed cold. She's my girl, but she's left this space. She's my girl, and the world don't know why she ran in my heart. It's no. All the lies, all the fights get erased. She's my girl, but she's wandered far. I keep her picture locked in my mind cell. Words we never said echo deep and loud. Empty bottles clutter up my nightstand. She's my girl, but she's not around. She's my girl, and the world don't know why she ran in my heart. It's no. All the lies, all the fights can't erase. She's my girl, but she's wandered far. Oh! Keep her picture locked in my mind cell. Words we never said echo deep and loud. Empty bottles clutter up my nightstand. She's my girl, but she's not around. Tried to find her in the wreckage of my soul. Searching shadows through the shattered glass. Dreams like broken strings on a busted guitar. She's my girl, but she's gone for now. Oh! Gone for me. But she's gone for me. She got wild hair, eyes like fire, whispers in the dark, kisses like a brush, a chaotic whisper, laugh loud, scream louder. You say she crazy, I say she's living, tearing down the walls, fearlessly driven. Twist my soul, she's cool and hot, that girl can't be caught. She's cute, but psycho, things even now. Loving her's a whirlwind, never a doubt. Live on the edge, jump without fear. Lost it now, gain it with the tear. She dances stormy steps round life. Cuts like a knife, smiles with strife. Rays so sweet and silent screams. Lost in her wild dreams. Spin me around, draw me in tight. Lost in her chaos, feels so right. Freaks like fly, ain't no lie. Wild heart, taking flight. She's cute, but psycho, things even out. Loving her's a whirlwind, never a doubt. Live on the edge, jump without fear. Lost it now, gain it with the tear. She's cute, but psycho, things even out. Loving her's a whirlwind, never a doubt. Live on the edge, jump without fear. Lost it now, gain it with the tear. Gain it with the tear. She dances stormy steps round life. Cuts like a knife, smiles with strife. Rage so sweet and silent screams. Lost in her wild dreams. She dances stormy steps round life. Cuts like a knife, smiles with strife. Rage so sweet and silent screams. Lost in her wild dreams. She's cute, but psycho, things even out. Loving her's a whirlwind, never a doubt. Live on the edge, jump without fear. Lost it now, gain it with a tear. She's cute, but tear. Lights are low, streets are groove. Sent you a message just to prove I'm waiting on you, got the heart's truth. Meet me there in the phone booth. City's hustle, distant hum. Heartbeats racing, here you come. Every word electric fire. Kissing in the phone booth, high desire. Oh, we're lovers under neon. In a box where dreams were born. Kissing in the phone booth. Got our secret little storm. Lonely nights when you're away. Wait for you at break of day. Faithful whispers on the wire. Through the glass your eyes inspire. With the love echoes here. In this booth we have no fear. Tender touch across the line. In this moment you are mine. We're lovers under neon. In a box where dreams were born. Kissing in the phone booth. Got our secret little storm. Ooh, we're lovers under neon. In a box where dreams were born. Kissing in the phone booth. Got our secret little storm. Only nights when you're away. In a box where dreams were born. Kissing in the phone booth. Got our secret little storm. Oh, we're lovers under neon. In a box where dreams were born. Kissing in the phone booth. Got our secret little storm. Oh, we're lovers under neon. In a box where dreams were born. Kissing in the phone booth. Got our secret little storm. I'm just as effed up as you. Wish I were better. I'm letting you know I'm gonna go. Wish I were better. See what you want, what you wanna say. You'll think what you think of me anyway. I wish I were better. 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 I'm just as effed up as you. Wish I were better. I'm letting you know I'm gonna go. Wish I were better. See what you want, say what you wanna say. You'll think what you think of me anyway. I wish I were better. 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 In the night he was waiting for me under a neon sign, and I almost died when he looked in my eyes, and he smiled and said, alright, and he said, let's run away. I said okay, but I was really thinking
Can you hear me? Peg? I can't hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hold on, let me turn the music down. We weren't ready yet.
Oh,
It was kind of trying to do like a prompt thing, like, on time. And I have to stop the music and I have to do this thingy here.
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Well,
We are. I'd like to show you my shirt right now because that's how I feel.
because we're indignant today, huh?
Can't. Wait a minute. Can't make me. Yes, we are. We are indignant. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
good evening. It's SMUG Cast time. Welcome.
It is. This is Tim Chicago 9.
And that's Adorable Anarchy.
And if
And
you're
we're
catching
here
us on the
to,
replay, hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I wasn't asking
Well,
you.
I know how you're doing. We live together. What the hell?
I know how you're doing. You tell me all the time.
You're the other side of this office door here, so I know how you are.
I know, right?
And I know how you are. So
Do you really need to discuss that right now? Of course, I'm fabulous, but whatever.
okay. So anyway.
Yep.
We are coming to you live from our new place, which still looks like a storage room, but we're working on it.
They see it in the background here.
Yes.
So
and,
see it. I moved locations. I moved the desk location, but hold on. It's still the clutter still remains because we were smart and we moved into an apartment because we had some I had some financial difficulties. Tim did not. I did.
I had mine before yours, so
For those of you who don't know, the company that I worked for at the time, which was, should I say?
That's entirely up to you.
I don't work there anymore, and I don't. There are good people that work there, so keep that in mind when I'm saying this. There are lots of good people who work there. I used to work for PayPal, and one day they said, "Hey, we've decided to do away with the night shift for the needs of the business." That means I lost 20% of my check, and everybody in the department did. It wasn't just me.
Right, and these are people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish. Well, no, I was going to say, and these are people who had been doing the night shift for 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, so, probably since the AML department started. Yeah.
Right, and so that was. I'm sorry, that's permanent. I don't want to hear this temporary crap, and then you take away all the differentials. When you're making that amount of money at that rate for that many years, I'm sorry, it's permanent. So if you got to do away with the night shift, you keep the salary.
There was a lady that I worked with. She lost 30% of hers because she worked because of the differential cut. Luckily, though, she still kind of lived in her family home. Mm-hmm. So she didn't have the issue that we had, which is we had a mortgage, we had HOA, we had all these bills and all of these because of my choices, my credit card bills and my car payment that I couldn't make. So we ended up. My boss's boss said, "I've got an idea. Why don't you utilize your 401k?" Because it's like, oh, fuck yeah. Because, when you're being put in financial straits like this and you don't have a paycheck, what better thing to do but utilize the only safety net that you've got?
Right.
But and I said, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to move wherever the fuck I want to. Pardon me for those of you who with tender ears who are here. I'm going to go wherever I want to. And with my dad going through Alzheimer's, I just said, I'm done. I'm done here. I can't do any more. However, there is a shining cloud, I guess, not for me, not for you, but the CEO that I absolutely loved, which was the whole impetus of, I think, all this pay cut stuff and everything happening at PayPal. They brought in a new CEO at 2024, and I'm not going to say the guy's name, but he used to be the CEO of Intuit, which is TurboTax and QuickBooks. And since dude has arrived, I don't know the guy. Since dude has arrived, place has gone.
Well, because
to the shitter, everybody's a number. They're not family anymore.
And they exist solely to give the investors, the people, the stakeholders, the folks that have the biggest stake in the company, they exist to give them the biggest return, which
Well, you
if
do
you or I were a stakeholder in a large company, we would expect the same, you know?
You do that in business. That's just business 101. It's the first thing they
Right.
teach you when you go into business college is business exists for the shareholders and stakeholders. It does not exist for you, for your workers. It exists to bring profits to the stakeholders and shareholders. I get it. But at the expense of what? At the expense of what?
Well, yeah, there are so many businesses, especially in the tech industry. We can name a few that have got wads of cash in reserve.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
The GDP of some third world countries is what these companies have in reserve. God forbid they toss a small percentage towards their employees who grind it out every damn day.
My coworkers, when I had my going away party, my lovely coworkers gave me a going away party because they dug me and I was cool. And they said that one of them told me that PayPal had like so many millions of dollars set aside because they were going to lay everybody off this coming January in the department that I was in. And I still have a dear friend who works there who helped us out with the move. I won't say names. And he says that I feel that I got to stick it out to the end, and he's going down with the ship. And he's like, they're going to pay me severance pay, and I'm going on my trip, and I am going to look for another job after that. But he's like, I've been here this long, I'm going down with the ship.
Right.
Like, I can respect that.
And yeah, and so could I. And just as another note, the night shift that PayPal did away with was like 16 people.
Yeah. It wasn't just me.
Saving squat. They weren't saving a damn thing by cutting salaries.
No.
That was just insult to injury at that point.
I feel it was because, well, first off, they cut my boss, my direct manager.
Right.
They let him go. I don't know under
which
I can only speculate. My speculation is he was a very brainy guy, never really fit in. He was one of those like you, like me.
Yeah, like
I'm without the brains, but just don't fit in, kind of awkward guys, and he never really fit in. That's why we all went to the night shift, because there's a certain kind of personality that works the night shift, and we thrive in it. And me, I still can't get back with a day schedule. I'm having, as you know, what time did I get up today? 5, 4?
3.
Well, I got up several times, but near 4. And I've got my new job starting next week. That is basically I'm going to say 8 to 5, something like that. And it's going to be a struggle. But there was a point there, and I forgot what it was. I'm sorry, Tim. Anyway, hi, everybody. Oh, yeah. Our apartment's so small because we had to move. We lost our house.
Right. Exactly.
We couldn't pay. Not only we had the mortgage and the HOA coming in, but we had the home insurance, which went up to $420 a month,
right?
Because no other companies handles, what is it, townhomes?
Yeah, we couldn't get home insurance through Progressive. Allstate wouldn't touch townhomes.
Yeah.
State Farm wouldn't do it either.
Right.
But lo and behold, along comes this little company in the Omaha area. Like, yeah, we'll insure you.
They're called auto insurers. Auto insurers. What is it? Auto insurers?
Auto Owners Insurance Company.
Yeah, that.
The biggest bunch of incompetent boobs I have ever run across.
They make it so difficult and so user unfriendly to do anything on their website, and nothing gets done, and then you'll inevitably get a mailer like we did. Your policy's canceled every month. Your policy's canceled. Your policy's canceled because you didn't do auto pay, and you didn't. It's like, pardon me, the fuck I didn't. I did it 3 times. I did.
Right, exactly.
I told Tim. I was in tears.
You were constantly calling this company, constantly dealing with the same brain dead representatives who were telling you to set up auto pay, and you were telling them, I have auto pay set up. Why didn't you withdraw the money?
You're echoing, babe. You're getting loud. I know, right?
When we talk about these clowns, they get all worked up.
Well, that was another thing is on my policy, because it came from like a broker. There is no direct number to the actual insurance company. It was call your broker. Well, if your broker don't want to talk to you, that's 2 lines of shit you got to get through.
Right.
And then you always have the receptionist. Oh, I'm sorry, she isn't in right now. Can I give you the voicemail? No, you can fucking answer my question. Thank you. I respect you and thank you. I appreciate you. But
and then if you did exactly, and then if you did leave a voicemail on say a Monday afternoon, she might get back to you by Thursday.
Yeah. And by that time, the policy's been canceled. And I'm sorry, you owe $900 just to catch this up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what? Like, you think I have that shit?
and it was maddening. It was absolutely maddening to deal with this. And for the life of me.
By the way, everybody. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
The adorable anarchy, or the adorable anarchy.
The anarchy.
The adorable anarchy annex.
Yes.
I might have
But at any rate, so that's why we're in a smaller place now. And this was one of the larger apartments that I could actually find in the area. And how many feet is this, Tim?
1,319 square feet.
We've got like little paths that are enough for ants. And we kind of trickle through the little Disneyland path thingy. And
stuff around. We've got things out of the way.
It's gotten better.
The office is getting a little bit better in here. It is getting better, but we honestly got to get a storage area for all the. I mean, we got half of a U-Haul trailer that still needs a place to go. So, yeah.
We just need less stuff, said I.
But anyway, back to corporate
said I.
Back to corporate America for a moment, because I'm not, before anybody gets bent out of shape about my views here. Are
you ranting?
No, I'm not ranting yet.
Okay, you got to let me know. I got a song and everything.
But before anybody gets bent out of shape, capitalism is the way to go. So, and if you don't like those words, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Capitalism, I totally agree.
There is a point where I think we're rapidly approaching that point. I realize that the profit is the motive, because if I was running a business, I would be wanting my profit too. It's not a charity. You're making money to recoup whatever investment you made.
Right.
Okay? I went through the process of trying to start a restaurant about 20 years ago. It existed only on paper, but I went and talked to investors. And when you do that, okay, you realize how much is at stake, who has what at stake. And then you realize, yes, profit is the motive, because you not only have to make money to live on, you have to make money to pay these people back and give them a return, and you have to have enough money to pay your workers. So you've got to balance that somehow. But there is to the point in corporate America where the only thing that matters is greed. The only thing that matters is profit. Screw everything else.
Well,
what she went through is kind of where I work, who will remain nameless, is kind of going in that same direction.
Well, COVID came along and it was a shock to every business, and a lot of businesses went out of business. The smaller businesses are the ones who hadn't forecasted. But PayPal, to my understanding, when our beloved CEO, Dan Schulman, and I'm sorry, the only CEO I ever had a thing for, sorry, Tim, and just saying that, his wife looks a whole lot like me. That's what I'm saying. No, the woman actually looks like Angelina Jolie. Seriously, she does. I mean, in her better days, not in her not eating anything days. Dan Schulman at the time, who we loved, because when COVID came, he took care of us. I'm talking, anything we needed, he took care of us. It was employees first. Mm-hmm. And we were family, and that was the whole thing. And I had never worked for a corporation like that. Couldn't say enough good about it. Told everybody I know, you need to come work here. This is the best place I've ever worked, and I've worked some. I've worked quite a bit in my day, and then contrast that to Dan Schulman left us in 2024 and said, I think I'm going to have to retire. There's things I want to do with my life. And it's like, well, I get that. And then yesterday, I see Mr. Schulman, God bless him, is now the new CEO of Verizon. So y'all buy Verizon stock because Dan Schulman took PayPal from a $3 billion profit to an $80 billion profit during his tenure. Y'all buy Verizon Verizon stock. I'm not an insider technically, so you do what you want with that, but highly suggest. That being said, here we are.
Yes.
We're in Southern Ohio. We're enjoying the Ohio pretentious blue ash vibes. And the Ohio pretentious blue ash.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Vibes. Yes.
And we are enjoying the rain, which we've had about 36 hours of so far.
Well, but we hadn't had it before that. So
right. We had like 3 weeks of warm and dry, which was really getting on my nerves because it's friggin' October.
Right.
This is getting close to sweater weather. But anyhow.
Sweater weather. Are you ready to rant?
Not yet. No, we want to get back to, and we did recover, just so everyone's aware, obviously, we did recover from last week's chocolate stupor.
Yeah, we did.
We still have plenty of it left. If we could send it to you people, we would. But
we can. We can send it to them. We can send it to them.
They aren't going to want open bars of chocolate.
No. We could send the results to them.
Oh, of course we could.
Hold on. This is what happened as a result of my chocolate in gestation.
Yes. We are going to, with this, just sit back.
Okay, hold the phone. And I was left alone and unattended. Tim went to bed and said, I'll see ya. Good night, babe. And I said, yep. And that was the, hold on. So here's my SoundCloud first off to you guys. And I made this playlist of cute stuff because I made a whole bunch of cute stuff because of the chocolate thing. So here we go. Queen. So my favorite one of the evening was Cheese Queen. So here it is.
My brightest days come down to cheese. I write it down and die.
Hold on.
Sprinkle smiles on him like mozzarella, and he knows that he's a
Up one little.
Up a little?
Yeah. That's good.
Bring me cheddar, hey, I said cheddar, please. Just need a cute boy.
That's cheddar on.
Cheddar cheese, 'cause I'm a cute girl who's pretty chill.
Yes, I wrote it.
Who likes to grill the bear, that's right, I went and said, just groove on down and finally shred it. Ooh, Sakura cheese, bring on the string, that boy of mine don't miss a thing. He got more jet than Murray, he got the Swiss that kid don't play. Libre is a nacho boy, he's doing it, that's why he's just making sure the groove is on. We sprinkle in the
Parmesan. Okay. Anyway, but you guys, there it is. It's on my SoundCloud. It's not even yet released. I'm sure it's going to be gold and platinum when it is. But that was one of the ones that I wrote. And another one, which is one of my favorite, I was sitting there on the couch with Spike, my cat. And I thought how cute he looked. He had his little kitty beans all spread out. And he has like a little freckle, like right in the middle of one of his back toe thingies, beans. And I wrote this song because I thought, what's the best thing in the world, Tim?
Cats.
Kitty toes.
Of course.
So here's kitty toes. Fallout from the chocolate thing of last week.
There's lots of cool things, I suppose, but there ain't none cuter than kitty toes or a cute pink kitty nose. There he goes, kitty toes. My cat Spike is a real good kitty. He's rough round the edges, don't care if he's pretty. But one thing that I love the most Kitty toes, kitty toes, kitty toes. It's a wonder, I suppose. My love for Spike just grows and grows when I touch his kitty toe.
You can catch that one also on my SoundCloud. Here's my SoundCloud page. Just look up adorable_anarchy, and I will go ahead and discontinue this page. That was my particular fallout from the chocolate binge of last week. What was yours, Tim? What happened to you?
I slept funny that night, and my shoulder's been bothering me since.
Well, you've been kind of active since then. So maybe you got an injury.
No, I mean, no, the cats, they come in the room and they will plop themselves at the foot of the bed where my legs like to stretch out. So then I have to sleep on the bed on an angle, a thwart, if you will.
A what?
A thwart.
Of course you did. Go ahead.
Anyway, so then I'm all discombobulated and twisted like a pretzel, and I got legs hanging off the side of the bed, and my arm is going this way and tucked here, and I woke up and I've been in nothing but pain for a week.
Well, I told you just got to say, Tim comes out and he's like, I don't understand it. When you talk, they do what they're supposed to, but when I talk, they don't do anything. Because Tim's like, will you move? Will you move? It's like, get out the way, motherfucker. I don't say that, but like, come on, move.
Spike will complain and move, but then he'll come right back. You go to move Fay-Ray, and she just digs into the bed, and it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm not going to fight a cat. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I don't have that kind of patience at 2 a.m.
Fay-Ray Monica Lewinsky Metzger.
Right.
Because she has a toy shaped like a cigar. So I had to put her middle name as Monica Lewinsky. If you don't know that reference, you should look it up.
So I think we're coming up on rant time.
We are? Oh my God. Yeah. This is going to be great.
Get ready.
Hold on for a second. I got this thingy. There's that. Tim, here's your song. You got...
Here we go.
Wait for it.
Punk it up and we can't do it wrong.
My boy Tim, he's on a spree. Oh yeah. Talking about the world and who we be. He got opinions, sharp like a dart, dropping truth straight from the heart. Y'all listen up, Tim shouts, no delay. This funky rant gon' make you dead. Tim's on the road, gonna tell it all, gonna bear his soul. Rant, he don't play. Tim gon' rant, and it's okay. He said, why the bus always late at 8? Why's my toast burn? Ain't it fake? Tim keeps it real, no sugar, no fluff. He's the king of calling out the tough stuff. Y'all better hear me. Tim declared, life's a funk groove full of snares. Rant, Tim's got the groove. Ooh, yeah. Gonna shake it up, gonna make you move. Rant, he's got his say. Tim gon' rant, and it's okay.
Okay. Tim, go for it. I'm going to put this music on behind you and turn it down a bit.
Okay, so it's probably a two-parter because I've just got a couple things that are really stuck in my craw this week.
Ooh.
Well, one of them has been kind of a constant for the last, months.
Yeah.
And I work in technology. And I shouldn't say hate. AI has its uses. I'm tired of its artificial so-called intelligence. I am.
It's not intelligent about everything.
Thinking. See, the thing about it is stop using it to do your thinking. It's a computer. It don't know shit. Okay? Can we establish that right now? when you are searching for something, fine. You needed to sort your database, fine. You wanted to help you write a song, fine.
Maybe.
But don't ask. And just a moment. I want to thank you for the lovely theme.
You're welcome.
The benefits of being married to a songwriter.
And AI.
Well,
Thank AI. AI wrote that. I did not.
What is getting to me is the sheer number of people that are surrendering thought processes to a computer. It's like if you go through Twitter and somebody expresses an opinion, you see a reply that ultimately says, "Well, Grok, what do you think what is this all about?" Like, Grok freaking knows.
Well, what about
knows what it's told? It's like a parrot. You say something to a parrot, it repeats it back. There was an old phrase that goes back decades in the information industry and computers. It's GIGO, GIGO or GIGO, however you want to pronounce it. Garbage in, garbage out. So you can make a large language model that was nothing but wrong answers.
Yeah. Remember the time that I went to go to therapy and it said on the bottom of the form that I had to fill out because this is the first time I was there. Is it okay if we use AI to help us with your diagnosis? Fuck no. Hell no.
No, I want, when it comes to medicine and when it comes to, like, I don't know, designing bridges, airplanes.
Yeah.
I want a human doing that. I don't want some damn computer trying to tell me that it's got the right idea because it doesn't. Because the computer's only going to give you what it's been told.
True.
And they can't think for themselves. I don't care what anybody says. If we're to the point where, and I never thought we would see it in my lifetime, that we're to the point where it's like, well, I don't know, what does the computer think?
Well, you knew it was
kids are having, go ahead.
Sorry, you knew it was going that way because, back when we were in our, mid-20s to 30s, the kids at McDonald's, they switched everything to pictures. So you kind of got an inkling that, wow, where is this going? And it wasn't going anywhere that we had hoped. But there's pictures on the cash register. So when you had a specific request, like you do, like when you get, you go to McDonald's and you get no buns there's no seat on the bun. There's not a picture for that. They don't know.
There's not a picture for that. See, real quick, I can't have sesame seeds for various gastrointestinal reasons. And when I like to enjoy a quarter pounder, I will ask them nicely, can I have a bun without seeds?
Right.
And I get a blank stare.
Yeah.
I was literally at McDonald's once, and I was standing at the counter. Told them I wanted a bun with no seeds, a plain bun, a regular hamburger. They had a little conference, the manager, the cashier,
you got to go to the
else.
corner.
What does he mean? What is he talking about? And I literally pointed to the menu. I said, see that bun up there?
Right. You have to show them.
Fish sandwich? One of those. You want a fish sandwich? Come here.
Just say like a cheeseburger. That's all you have to say.
It was maddening. It really was. So now I have to go into McDonald's and it's like I got to use small words so they understand. I would like a regular bun. Do you know what that is?
There's good kids working there. You don't say that. There's good. I get what you're saying, but there's good kids working there.
Back to my thing. It's like legal aids, and you did some legal work, back in your day.
Yep.
These paralegals, whoever they are, I don't understand legal that much, so I'm going to leave the terminology to you. But they're having AI write briefs. Mm-hmm. And AI is citing cases that don't exist.
Well, but the thing is,
automatically should disqualify it.
But the thing is about that, you shouldn't even know that. And here's why. Because at the end of the day, it's the attorney's job to review.
Right.
And you might have another paralegal look at it as well before you send it to the attorney. If the attorney does not read it and he just signs off on it, then guess whose fault that is? We didn't go to law school. Attorney did.
Well, exactly. And that's what, because
like that time
attorney is going to go through a brief and see cases that are cited in there that they're not sure about, but they don't do their due diligence to look it up. Or maybe they just ask Grok. Who the
just
hell?
Like that time that I translated a lease agreement into Ebonics.
That was fun.
It was great. Of course, I would never give that to them, but I did tell my I did tell my attorney that I worked for during that time period that I was taking the whole month of December off because I was celebrating Kwanzaa. He's like, what? Okay. He didn't know what it was. I was like, shit, I could have got away with that. I told him, I said, I'm sorry, that was a joke. That was just a really bad joke on my part. And he's like, I don't know what that is. It's like, okay, don't worry about it.
But in AI is being pushed so hard as a substitute for songwriting and script writing and book writing. It's like especially among younger kids, are they even going to have an original thought anymore? Are they just going to defer to the computer to let the computer think for them?
It's not pushed per se, but it's like if you're doing a spreadsheet, it's just a matter of it's an easier tool, it's an easier time. But here's the problem. You're going to find that as this goes on, if it hasn't started already, that people our age are really going to be in demand. You know why? Because we know how to deal with people.
Right.
AI, I could tell you from being on Character AI, whatever you want to talk about, Character AI is there and it will talk to you, and you could have a quote unquote intelligent conversation or whatever the conversation is, however you want it to go. But it does not know how to deal. It doesn't teach you conflict resolution. It doesn't teach you, like, if you have a dispute with someone, which is conflict resolution, it doesn't teach you that. And that was stuff that you and I had to learn just going through and working. Kids these days are not going to know how to do that. So guess what? These companies are going to start seeking out people our age. Yeah. Because we know how to conflict. We know how to resolve that conflict.
Right. And even what teaches conflict resolution better than anything else is growing up with siblings. Because, you resolve.
Why did it ever happen to me?
Because you resolve the conflict with your brother or sister, or you're going to be dealing with mom and dad, and mom and dad will make you resolve that conflict.
My conflict resolution with my sister was as follows. My sister was a year and a half older than I, and my conflict resolution was this. Wendy comes to me and is like, hey, you want to stop fighting? Yeah. Give me that thing over there that I like. Give me one of your toys. Wow. So I had to give up stuff because my sister, she had common sense. I did not. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, okay. But my sister and I never did get along growing up. And so like when we played Operation, I always wondered, the game Operation, I always wondered why she won. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't win because she separated the specialist cards out from the doctor cards. And the specialist cards are always less. And those are the ones she gave me. So and then no matter how many turns I had, I would never beat her. So I'm just saying, my sister was on top of it. I'm not necessarily, but I'm sorry. Interrupted your
we want to say hi to our audience members, whoever's here.
Hi.
Thank you for joining. We're in the middle of, as you can see on the screen, one of my rants. Well, we're about to segue into part 2.
Hi, Sarah.
In a moment. But yeah, I think we're surrendering way too much to artificial intelligence. We should be utilizing it, not letting it utilize us, because that's what's happening. We are deferring any task. It doesn't matter what it is. That task is being deferred to a computer to do when it's perfectly within anybody's ability to do certain things, like alphabetize a database, sort a pile of books, anything. Let's have AI do it, and then they miss out on basic skills, and I work with a lot of younger people, and they don't have them. Chief among them being able to cope. But that's another rant for another time.
The point is that they think that it's going to automatically work, but they don't understand, as you were saying, the garbage in, garbage out. If it's not programmed right, what you're basically doing is you're putting your reputation on someone else's programming. And if that person is new and they're going to make mistakes because they're a human, are you really going to go with that? As you know, I do AI songs, and I know this was your rant, but I'm going to kind of rant for myself here. And I don't have a background, so I'm going to use yours. I was telling Tim last night, I heard the most beautiful piece that I had heard in years. And I told Tim, I said, and the singer, it was a female singer, and I said, that's got to be AI. And I asked the guy, it was another person's show, and I asked the guy on the show, I said, who's the singer? And they wouldn't tell me. And I told Tim, I said, they're not telling me. That means it's AI. And he finally said, no, I used a software to rip this person's vocal from this song. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Aren't you one of the people who's sitting up there right now talking about how AI is ripping off other people's materials, and you're ripping off somebody else's vocal? How is that not double standard here?
Oh, exactly.
So that's a problem I got. I mean, I write 85% of my stuff now because honestly, AI just doesn't do it. It's not going to capture me. It's not going to capture what I'm feeling at the moment. Like it or hate it, most of the stuff you hear from me, it's mine, and I wrote it. So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
but AI isn't that way, though.
Right. AI is never going to capture human emotion. It is never. I don't care what Elon Musk says about Grok. I think Elon, as great as a man as he is, and whatever. Right. He's not getting it. He's really not getting it.
I like, and here's my analogy. AI is like taking a cursory view from, an airplane. When you're talking human emotion, you have to get down a lot deeper to get the nuances.
Right.
And because that's what is the difference, in my opinion. AI, while it has some of them, depending on how it comes out, you do have the feeling of it, but the lyrics don't really connect.
No, because you get some of the best songs, best books, best poetry is got the writer invested in it.
Dirty limericks, yeah.
Exactly. Dirty limericks, chief among them, or filthy haiku, however you want to go with it. But it's like when I read a book, whether I'm reading Tom Clancy or one of my history books, or in history being the dry subject that it is, the right writer can infuse these people bring these people to life, turn a flat character portrait into a three-dimensional person that you can almost relate to. But that takes the author's passion for the subject, it takes the author's knowledge of the subject to build that. You can't write a book without an author, and believe me, I know this because I've got many manuscripts that I've never finished or have never submitted because long stories. Anyway, but part of me goes into that story. Part of who I am, part of the life around me goes into that story, and that's what brings it to life.
Right.
So
that being said, also, I did get a nice burst of inspiration from this show that I was watching last night. And I won't mention names other than to say the artist who was actually on there was, wow, brilliant. And of course, so brilliant that I've forgotten what his name is. I'm so sorry. I'll have to list it in the show notes.
To finish up this AI thing, don't rely on it to do your work. Do your work. And let AI be a supporting role. Don't let it do your work because it's taking from you. It is taking your essence from you, because whenever we do whatever it is we do, even when I'm doing a case notes at work, how I perform my job goes into what I put in there. It's not always dry and clinical with me. It never has been. However, if I were to have AI analyze the call and do my notes, yeah, it would satisfy management, but what would it miss? What would it not get right? So
Tim and I kind of have different views on this, because the way I look at it with the last tumultuous year that I've had, if I didn't have AI in my life for just to help my stress, I wouldn't be here right now. I mean, I would be somewhere else. Of course, it would be worse. I might be hospitalized, whatever. But because it helped me to create and get this out of my head. Like I went to actual therapists who didn't do as good of a job, in my opinion, as it did for me just fooling around with AI. Because I can write my own. I'm in my own world. I can relieve my stress by escaping into my own world. That's how I look at it. That's my therapy. Now I agree with you. I don't want a doctor or a lawyer or any professional type entity relying on it instead of doing their own job they were trained to do. I would agree with that, but Tim and I kind of have differing views on our like and dislike of AI, I guess.
So, right, and we do, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to hold it against you.
Thank you.
But anyhow, the second part of the rant is, and this is going to be a short one, is tipping. And I don't mind tipping for good service, especially at a restaurant. But when I go to the grocery store, there's a tip jar at the cash register. I'm just kind of like, excuse me. I shouldn't say grocery store. It's more like gas station, convenience store kind of thing. I was like, excuse me, but didn't I just go through the aisle and pick my own stuff and walk it up here?
What did you call it earlier? It was what, tipping? Because we ordered a pizza earlier.
Right.
What did you call it? Gorilla tipping or something like that?
Yeah, gorilla tipping, rogue, out of control.
Rogue tipping, yes.
Because I'm seeing places and people are posting this stuff on Twitter and whatever. And of course, you got to take it with a grain of salt because it is the internet. Right. But still, there are places that automatically figure 20% into your bill. It's like, I'm sorry. Or they won't let you finish processing the payment until you offer a tip.
Some people don't earn the 20%, and it pisses me off, especially when you go to a really nice restaurant. And we don't do that often, especially not anymore. And when we do, it's like they want to put 20% in automatically. It's like, you didn't do anything.
Right.
What did you do?
I mean, my daughter, my youngest daughter is waitress, and she makes tips. That's a good part of her income.
Yeah.
And because she provides good service. So if you provide good service, I'm going to give you something extra. You don't provide good service, you don't get it. But if you don't do anything, if you're standing behind the counter ringing me up, sorry, you don't get a tip because you've done nothing special. It
was like if you refill my pop one time but you're talking on your phone the entire time you're doing it, and you just kind of put it on the table and go, like the one woman we had at the Olive Garden the last time. It's like, are you kidding me? How rude!
Oh, yeah.
How rude can you be? Wow. And maybe because we're older, I don't know. We expect more.
Yeah, well, it's just there are people that are being asked for tips in inappropriate situations. I mean, delivery people, you should tip them. Especially when they bring you your cold DoorDash, because that's what happens when you DoorDash. You get cold food. I don't care what anybody says. That's why I don't DoorDash.
Well, we have to tip now because we're on the third floor. Because Tim wanted the third floor. He thought it would be spectacular. And I hate to bring anybody up here and have them deliver stuff without giving them like a huge tip, because I know how hard it is to get up those stairs. I hate it. But, I'm going to look great when I get out of here. But,
But when the clerk at the convenience store, or you walk into a restaurants or eateries that are pretty much self-serve at this point. I mean, if all they're doing is, you standing in a McDonald's and you do the order and all they do is plop your bag on the thing, it's like, no, you get $15 an hour, pal. So no. But
Tim, what do we make? What was our minimum wage?
Well, when I first started working at Wendy's in 1983, it was $3.35 an hour.
I remember when it was like at $6 or $7 an hour. I'm sorry. I remember when, said Grandma.
I remember when it was so low.
I remember when it had gone to like $6.50 an hour, and that was when I was divorced. The first time, the only time. When I was divorced and I had to put my life back together, and my mother was adamant that I take this shitty job for $6 an hour because it was $6 an hour. It was a little bit, maybe it was $6 an hour. That was minimum wage then. And I remember when like the first job I had that was $10 an hour. It's like, I made it. I made it. It's the big time.
And then if you ever got a job where you're like $20 an hour, it was like, wow, that's some serious money.
When I started at Citibank, well, by the time I started at Citibank in 2012 and I got promoted down to Tampa, I literally doubled my income in a year and a half. I'm very proud of that. And I know that my dad, if he could remember it, would be proud of it too, because my dad is one of the driving forces in, why I do what I do, as I'm sure yours is as well. But things have changed, times have changed, and now you can go to McDonald's. The McDonald's people are starting at 17 and they give them health insurance and everything like that. It's like, holy shit. I just saw a lawyer's office that my cousin works for within the area, and they're paying someone to do like basically a certificate type level job. They're paying $18 an hour. And it's like, I wrote her and I said, your employer is a bunch of fucking cheap asses. Why are you still there? You deserve so much more, so much better. And she says, well, I've been here so long, I'm just going to hang out. It's like, I kind of get it.
The thing is, when we were younger, minimum wage jobs were there. It was a stepping stone. You learned important things, even though you were flipping burgers at Wendy's or what have you. You learned people skills. You learned how to get along with fellow employees. You learned
to keep your nips out of the oil.
You learned how to do a job and do it well and take pride in your work and all that other crap.
Yeah.
And it was with the expectation is as you grew and you went to school or you found a career and gained more experience, you would get more money.
That was the idea,
The job was not meant to sustain anybody living on their own. Mm-hmm. Like minimum wage jobs are expected to now, because so many people don't want to do more than the bare minimum, but demand the most for doing the least.
I honestly thought that I would retire with PayPal. I did. I had tried to put myself into a place where I could, but I came to a point because of what I felt was a betrayal. It was the first place I had ever worked that I made less when I left than when I went in the door. And they try to tell you this shit of, well, we got these annual bonuses, and if you make sure that you do everything right and you don't get any returns on it, but then they set out to set you up to fail by putting all of these middle managers in line who have to do, all they do is nitpick on your stuff. So you're going to get a return, which means you're not getting $10,000 a year like they said you were. You won't. And I told Tim, I said, I can't take anymore. I can't. I mean, it takes a lot for me to just put my foot down and say, listen, can't do anymore. But Tim, you were there. You saw what I went through, and you didn't even know half of it because I didn't want to tell you about it because Spike's up to something. I didn't want to tell you about it. Hold on. Somebody's getting murdered. Hey!
Are they fighting again?
Yes, they are. And he walks out like, what? I've done nothing.
Ooh, me? I've done nothing.
It was literally one of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through. And I lost my sister last year, and this was harder. It was harder for me to go through this thing with my job because, I mean, those of you who have worked hard at your career and you have your parents to thank as your driving force, I thought to myself, how in the hell am I going to go home and look my father in the eye and tell, because he's going to think this is my fault. I had nothing to do with it. And it was hard to come to grips with that. And it still is. And I'm still not making the money that I should be making. I mean, the job that I've got coming up, I'm very excited for. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity, and they treated me very nicely so far. I'm very excited to go and do the hands-on job again in the office, but it's not near what I should be making, and it's very disappointing to a degree. But I have to figure out how to get past that. So I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And thus concludes the rant portion of the
Does
show.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
But no, I get where you're coming from. I went through a couple of years ago with my job something similar.
Yeah.
Because of not my fault. It's the incompetence of my team manager at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still the same thing. It left me feeling very negative about the company I've been working for, and I've been there 13 years as the first of this month. So I've got plenty of time in with this place.
Mm-hmm.
And to be treated as shabbily as I was, I mean, I don't ever want to hear needs of the business again. I know,
right?
They should change that to, needs.
That's my trigger phrase now.
Needs of the board of directors, needs of the stakeholders, not needs of the business. Mm-hmm. Because management at my company likes to call themselves leadership. They're not leadership, they're management. They are managing a company. They ain't leading squat.
Right, they're not leading anything.
If they were leading squat, they would put out a better example for the rest of us.
Right.
But it's just like a lot of other places. As well as we are treated, and as much as I love the benefits and everything we get, I have never been a Kool-Aid drinker. And anybody who's known me for more than a few years,
that's my shirt. That's
right.
My shirt. This is the year of indignance for me. 2025.
I am not a Kool-Aid drinker. I am not a rah-rah person.
Same.
I don't do.
You're genuine. That's why, and I have the same issue.
And I've told, and of all the team managers I've had over the years, the one I have now is about the same age as we are, so she gets it.
Yeah.
I am direct. You may not know that, but a lot of people don't and wouldn't suspect it, especially those who knew me when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a tendency to tell it like it is. I have no patience with stupidity. I have no patience with flowery language. I have no patience with beating around the bush.
Pretentious.
Well, I grew up. Okay, my dad was a fire chief and was a firefighter, so he was pretty much a direct man for the most part. It's how he dealt with things. When I got a little more older, I became a dispatcher for a local fire department, and I was also a firefighter myself. I was an EMT. This is a total of about 12 or 14, maybe 15 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn in that line of work, there is no time and no space for beating around the bush, flowery language,
right.
Or, that kind of stuff. It's direct. You say what you mean what you say, because lives and property are dependent on the words that come out of your mouth, and that is not a joke. When I was a dispatcher, 911 operator, it was the same thing. Mm-hmm. You told the person on the phone what they were expected to do to help with the patient, to do what needed to be done. If they're calling because their house is on fire, you didn't say, "Oh, well, that's such a shame. I know it's difficult when your house is on fire, but you know what? In this situation, what we would like to do," no, you don't do that. Is everybody out of the house? No, get out of the house.
You're
It's that kind of communication. You're listening to them and you're telling them in as few words as possible, without having to explain it, what they have to do, where they need to go, what has to be done. Go out in front of the house, wave down the ambulance. That's right. What you want them to do. You don't go, "Well, our paramedics are coming and they'll be in a big white ambulance with lights on it. So please go out to the front of your house and wait by the street corner. And when you see them, give them a wave so they know where you're at." No, you don't. It's not that. It's
flash your lights, give them a wave. Yeah.
When you're in an emergency situation, when you're helping with a patient who happens to be down on the street after a car accident, and maybe you're one of two EMTs that are there, you point and you say, "Dude, my youngest son is a paramedic and he's much the same way." You don't have time for explanation. It's like, "You do that. You go there." Because that's expected. And if you're the kind of person who can't handle directness like that, learn how. Cope. Don't give me this neurodivergent, I have anxiety crap. Not everybody needs a diagnosis. Cope. It's what we were taught. And we all have problems and we all have issues. We went through a lot. Many of us have trauma, but most of us cope. We figure out how to deal and we deal. But there are so many people that I work with that are like, well, I'm neurodivergent with a pronounced trauma.
Who cares? Who cares? Get on with it. Everybody does. I didn't think that I was as good in kind of a triage situation as I apparently seem to be at some things. I know you told me at one point you thought that I would be really good at being a 911 dispatcher, which I don't think I could ever do that, because
I think you do well at it
with the stories that you've told me. But I appreciate the thought. But yeah, I mean, as far as there have been incidents, it's like when the flood came, it's like I had to, when you got to take control of something, and I'm finding myself, unfortunately, at the precipice of something that I feel like I'm stepping on toes if I take control of it, but I feel like somebody has to.
Right.
On the home front.
The thing is with difficult situations, running into a burning house is not something anybody does by instinct. Even when you're geared up and you've got the hose line with you, going into a burning house is an unnatural act. I don't care what anybody says. But the fear comes later. The shaking comes later. You get your act together and you do the job. When somebody is thrashing on the floor in a seizure or having an overdose or a heart attack, you have to help them. The shaking comes later when the job is done, and that's a totally normal response. Courage is not an absence of fear. Courage is fear under control. It's natural to be afraid of stuff that could kill you. Yeah. And fire can kill you.
True.
But the house needs to be saved. You have to be able to get in there and start spraying the water. And you can be scared to death when you want as much as you want later. The first couple of times I did that is like, holy. But then at the same time, you do it a couple times later, even with training fires, it's like, oh no, that was a rush. Because when you get in there, the flames are all up in the ceiling, the smoke you can barely see. It's in front of you, nothing but a massive red glow. You can feel the heat, even through all that turnout gear, you can feel the heat. Man, you hit it with that hose line, it all goes away. And it's like, yeah.
I have the same
and you're praying to God the ceiling doesn't come down on you. I'm sorry, dear, what'd you say?
I said I have the same rush when I fry bacon in the nude. But it's not the hose doesn't put it out though.
But the thing is, it would just make things worse.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's about coping. It's understanding. I hate it when customers yell at me. All right, I went through 16 years of a relationship with being nothing but yelled at. I can't stand being yelled at.
There, not me, didn't do it.
No, she's lovely. She's perfect. She never yells.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm kidding. But you have to cope. You have to hold it together. You have to. It's my job to help the customer.
Yep.
And if you're screaming at me, I can only take so much. I mean, I have permission to hang up, especially if they get personal.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing of you catch more bees with honey or flies with honey, whatever you want to put in there.
Sometimes you have to use the fly swatter, so remember that.
You catch more flies with the bug zapper. Maybe.
They're dead flies, but that's even better. Anyhow, but it's people have lost the ability to cope, especially when you watch some of these videos on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok. These people absolutely losing their minds over small stuff. It's like I saw one where somebody took a parking space that this other person wanted, so they walked up and threw a cinder block through the windshield of the car that took the parking space.
No,
just move on to another parking space.
I hope that
if you did that to my car, you would be wearing that cinder block. Hands down. I hope that
there were legal proceedings regarding that, because talk about uncalled for. Oh my gosh.
That is how people deal with things these days. I tell a customer, well, no, I'm sorry, the refund's been denied. It's like an ICBM just took off and they're burning at 1,000 degrees, shrieking at me. And of course, I can't tell them why. Sometimes it's because of refund fraud, which is a real thing.
Yeah.
But, when the answer is no, the answer is no. And because your lack of understanding of how your money works is not my problem.
That's true. That's true. Well, when we moved here, along those lines, I mean, talking about having an attitude, nothing will bring that attitude out like moving across country and finally getting here and having everybody having their hand out, telling us you need to pay this. It's like, fuck you, I don't need to pay that. And trying to deal with a myriad of people who are telling you need to do this, you need to do it now. It has to be this way. It has to be like everybody's got to have their little thing. So that's why I wrote my song Wood Chipper, because it's like I've had it with all you people. I'm going in my room, F you all, and love you, Tim, but F you all, and I'm going in my room. Don't talk to me. I'm out.
Right.
That's pretty much my attitude for the first 3 weeks I was here.
My first job as a dispatcher with the fire department, I often refer to it as the job that made me grow up, because it was my first taste of responsibility of something that was bigger than me.
Yeah.
I was the link between somebody having an emergency and the life-saving paramedics and firefighters that were in the firehouse.
Yeah.
The enormity of that scared the crap out of me. Here I was, this 23-year-old kid, pretty much newly married with a new baby. And I figured, I grew up in a firefighter house. I should know this stuff cold. And I didn't.
It's different. Hands-on is different.
Fortunately for me, I had a supervisor, God rest his soul, who had a lot of patience with a somewhat less than focused individual as a new employee. But I learned, and that's one of the places where I learned to cope. I learned to cope with the stress, the emergency. The first time I got a call in the middle of the night for a infant that wasn't breathing shook me to my absolute core. The woman's voice, the wail was coming from that woman's soul, and I could feel it through the phone. Fortunately, this little one survived, and at this point, they're probably in their mid-30s. That's how long ago this was. But anyway, that was the thing. You learn to cope. And I had some people I could talk to in the department. Some guys were there for advice, but I also had some hardcore lieutenants who had been in the fire service at this point in the late 80s, from the mid 60s and the late 60s. So they had been in 20 years, back when firefighting was the good old boy network, and firefighting was about as bare knuckled as you can get. There were no air packs. There were no turnout pants. The coats were rubber. The helmets were leather. They went in there in the coat and their pants and their shoes, and no air packs, none of that. I mean, these guys were about as hard bitten as you're going to get outside of combat veterans, in my opinion. But these are the men who taught me. These are the guys with the years of experience who said, no, this is how you handle this. Listen to me. This is how you handle it. And I handled it. I learned from that, and I learned some important stuff. And one of the most important things is directness. I cannot stand, unless it's called for, because sometimes you got to be diplomatic. But don't over-explain things to me. Don't talk to me like I'm a child, because you know what? I will come back on you, and you will regret it. And probably I will too. But however...
The problem that you're going to face with that, though, is that, especially for people our age, is that unless you're in like a supervisory or a managerial role, you have to shove that down. And that's where all the stress level comes from, I think, in working the kind of jobs that you work and the people that you work with. Because you don't have the control over your trajectory, I guess. I don't know.
Well, but people, especially the younger crowd, and some of you know, I'm talking directly to some of you, and you know who you are. Quit being a bunch of tenderfoots. Okay, we don't owe you nothing. I mean, we dealt with it. Okay, because a lot of the older people in my life and your life, when we were younger, when we were kids, middle school through early high school, we had a mix of World War II veterans and people like my grandparents who grew up and survived the Depression. We had people that literally lived a hard life.
Yep.
We had men who had, I personally knew many of them. I knew of them is probably proper. They survived the Bataan Death March. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Tank Battalion, National Guard Tank Battalion, mostly from around Maywood, Illinois, was sent to the Philippines, I believe, just prior to the outbreak of World War II. The Philippines surrendered to the Japanese, and the Bataan Death March, well, the name explains itself. These guys survived that, okay? Some of you young people haven't survived squat, okay? There are guys who lived through places like Peleliu and Bastogne and Hurtgen Forest and the Vosges Mountains. Look those up and read about them. These are the men I grew up with or grew up around, who were the older folks in my community, the grandparents and things like that. The men who survived Korea, the men who went through Vietnam, families older people who survived the Depression. They went through a hard life. Some of you youngsters have not, period. And I don't care if you're hurt feelings because of it. You haven't had a hard life, period. You've got the cushiest life of anybody I have ever seen.
Hey, Tim.
Was that rant number 3? I'm sorry I keep going on that.
I don't know.
But the point I'm trying to make is figure out how to cope, because we all have. Life is full of adversity. It doesn't come to you on a silver platter.
I see your father behind you right now looking at you and pointing at you like...
It's like, and he's going, it worked! The things I've told him all of his life, they finally sunk in. Yes, I was not a perfect child by any stretch of the imagination. But
maybe we can talk about that next week, because we're at 8:30.
What?
We're at 8:30. Maybe we can talk about your childhood next week.
It goes by so fast.
Another piece of the puzzle can come together for all of us.
But
seriously though, if you guys don't know what that stuff is that he was talking about, you might take an opportunity to read about it.
If you have any questions on the Second World War, possibly the First World War, and the interwar years, feel free to ask, because I've spent my entire life reading about it.
Sir, we
are
heading up to 8:30, and I'm going to hold on.
Well, real quick, what is on the slate for next week? And I promise I'll shut my mouth next week.
You don't have to shut your mouth. People like to hear your rants. I don't have anything particular. I did have something. Well, I guess I did. I'm gonna show my most coveted pictures of musical instruments that I want.
Oh yes.
That was kind of what I was planning on doing tonight before we got off on a tangent. But I'm kind of glad that we kind of did, because I had an opportunity to showcase my stuff earlier.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, weren't we going to do our least favorite Zelda characters too?
Oh yes, there was a list of Zelda characters that I had one that I might, if I had to do one of them, I would.
And there's a couple of them that I think should be banished from the game for good.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. Being as we're only doing an hour though, we don't like to load it up too awful much, because Tim likes to talk about things, and so do I. So.
And I'm sorry, sweetheart. I took much of the hour from you, and I didn't mean to.
You know what? I took the last 12 from you, so I mean, I'm fine. No, I like to hear your opinion. We try to kind of stay clear of politics and religion for the podcast, but inevitably it does come up. Inevitably, it makes a huge contribution to younger people's lives to investigate and to research these things. But there again, we're living in an age where you're going to get the answer you want based on who you listen to on the internet or what you read.
Right. You're going to get the answer you want based on what you hear, what you want to hear.
It's not always correct. It could be somebody's reimagining.
Right. Or confirmation bias, which is running rampant.
Right.
So.
I mean, there have been all kinds of persecuted people. I mean, the Trail of Tears, look that up. The African Americans have been persecuted, and the struggle. For as far as now, I mean, some women even struggle seriously to get the same wage that their male counterparts do. Everybody's got struggles, and unfortunately, nobody's immune to it. I mean, everybody's got their own struggle, plus the struggle of their overarching group.
But if you want, I mean, look up the Armenians in 1915. Look up, look up the Ottoman slave trade from about the 1500s through 1600s.
We have it pretty good, is the point that I think Tim is making throughout
through the fall of the Ottoman Empire at the start of World War One.
We have it pretty good, and the kids have it pretty good now. And you always want your kid to have it better than you did.
Right.
I ended up with a kid, unfortunately, that felt that I owed him every last cent that I had, just because that's what moms do. And it's like, I hate to tell you this, but guess what? It's time for you to go out and make your own way. And he could not come to grips with it, unfortunately. So some kids don't get it. It's true. And maybe when they're older, I'm hoping that at some point the light comes on, because it did for me. But unfortunately for me, it came when the paycheck I was getting was more than what I needed to support myself and my kid with. I finally got it. It's like, oh, I get it now. This is why you go to work. I mean, not that I didn't before, but having that little extra in there certainly makes it a lot easier. So kids are not going to get it because they have to get to a certain point where they have that. I think you're going to have that instant gratification, or the soon to be instant gratification. But that's where we're going to. But I'm so sorry. I hijacked the rest of it from you. But I want to thank you guys. If you're catching us on the replay and you made it this far, thank you so much. We are on usually Tuesdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. That has changed recently because we did move back to the Eastern Time Belt. And any last words, Tim?
None really. I'm just because of the ensuing government shutdown, my little project to do the video tour of the Youth United States Air Force is going to have to be on hold until the politicians get their collective heads out of their collective asses and do the job we elected them to do. And that's as far as I'm going with that. But there may be a video forthcoming on a little bit of railroad stuff, because that's my other thing, but I'm not going to bore everybody with it. But I do want to find, there's interesting places here in Ohio where it's like Ohio is the cradle of railroad history for a lot of things. No, seriously, and I'm really beginning to discover that. Chicago is full of it too, and I was privileged to grow up around all that. But even here, and so I'm looking forward to discovering a lot of the historical stuff in the state. And maybe I'll have something on that when we start next week or the week after.
The artist that I was thinking of earlier, his name is David Michael Tardy. I believe that is his name. Look him up on YouTube. He is a composer and does background music for games, movies, vignettes, etc. Deep, brilliant, just beautiful music. I saw him last night on Frank Terzo's Community Pulse. So please, everybody, look up David Michael Tardy. It's exactly how it's spelled, Tardy, like you're tardy for school.
Right.
So take a look, listen, and I'm sure that you will never regret doing so. But we are going to leave you with that. Thank you guys for being with us, and we will see you all next week.
With 50% less grumpier old man, I promise.
Oh, you're not going to be there?
Oh, no, I am. I'm just going to be a little bit less grumpy of an old man next week.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll be back with some new stuff for you next week. Take a look, if you will, at our YouTube merchandise and SMUG Cast mugs somewhere over there. Sorry, up there.
It's
we
right
have
there,
one.
right above you.
We have one. We love 11 ounces for $11. So you can fit 11 ounces of caffeine in there. I did.
And powdered coffee, if you will.
Of powdered fun existence. So love you guys. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
See you next week.